Hello guys, welcome back to the last video in this Django series. Today we are going to finish our blog. Like as you can see, I've already styled it and I added some additional features that you are yet to see. But I'm going to show you how I did it, like the recent and all the styles. You have not seen it, but at the end of this tutorial, you're going to know how I did everything and the category and the posted by admin, all those features that we added in our module. And if you move down, you see that all our posts is now arranged in a particular order. And then if you click each of the posts, you go to a single page, which is also styled. And then when you move down, you see the category too as well. And we have a new anchor tag there, all posts, which when you click, it takes you back to all the posts. And our comments also we have already styled it. And now if I type on, if I want to like comment, write my name and type something like great and click submit, then it returns me back to the post. And then when I go back, you see great by Idoko Emmanuel. So I'm going to show you how we arrange it in this way by the end of this tutorial. So to go back to my post, click on all the posts, and then I can see all the posts. And then I'm going back to my code now to explain everything. So first I went back to my form because if you notice my comment is a little bit well organized. So I changed this from row. Last time I made a mistake, it was supposed to be rows and then equal to 3, and then the columns is 30. I reduced it to 30, and then I used CSS to style my page. And to use CSS in Django, just like our HTML, you have to like create a static folder, and then in your static folder you create a blog folder, and then in your blog folder you create a style.css file in your blog folder, just like we did here for our index.html and the rest. And in our static folder too, we can add other static files. And then when I go to my layer.html, I have to load my static by using this load static. Make sure it's like this, exactly like this. And after loading the statics, you have to come down and link the style to the folder. And instead of URL, you're going to use static here, and then the address or the directory that we are going to get our styles from, which is blog slash styles.css. And then I believe that's all we have to do in the layout, and go to our index. And if you observe again in my index, the index is a little bit different now. It's looking better or and a bit complicated. I use the div class, I put them in div classes so that I'll be able to like style them in my CSS. And just like you can see, I added a new heading which I use this span. The span is just like the div. The purpose is just to make it easy for me to like style my work, but they are not the same. It's not the same with the div, but they are just similar. It doesn't really have big effects or noticeable effects. So I have my blog post, which is the heading in span tag. Then the div class I created blog container, which contain all the blog container contain all the elements or all the features in my blog. And then the next one is the post container, contain only for my post, which is from my admin. And then you see it stops here, and then the recent class starts and contain only the elements in my recent. And the recent is just a paragraph tag which has the recent post, and then in the recent post I added a URL. And then for post in post, just like we have seen earlier, and then I said for post in post, get post.title. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to go to post, check all the posts, and then for post or a post in the post is going to give me the title. And then I made them in a list tag. So the list is on ordered list, and then I use the anchor tag to like link them to my single page, which I've already created in my HTML, and we did it in our last class. Then again, after the post, then for post in post, what we did last time, inside it I created another div class called blog post. That is, for any post in this post, they should have this class blog post, which I'm going to like style the bosses that I have in my web. So the blog post is for all the posts, and then inside it again we have div class blog image, which is for my image. The image is coming first, and then div class the blog text, and then the text will follow. Inside of the text I have the title. The title will come first, just like I did in my recent state. That's what I did here. And then I have a spam tag too for the other features I'm going to add. Like I've already told you what the spam tag is used for, just like help us get a particular element. Let's say I can come here and now say in my blog title or in my blog text, then span. This is the only span I have here. Give it a particular style. So that's the essence. It doesn't really have much effect. Then I have blog.author, which is the author of the blog. This is just a plain test. The author, you saw how I added it in my modus, so I'm just getting it now. And then on, let's say, posted by blog dot author on the date where it was, date and time. If you want to use date and time, you can just post dot created on. But if you just want to use only date, you add this dot date. It will give you only the date. For me, I prefer using only the date. And then categories. Categories is a little bit complicated because we can add more than one categories, and is a many to many field. That's what we use for it in our modules. Then you can come here and say for category in category dot, for a category in post dot category dot all, then you get only category dot name, and then we'll have our category there. That's how we added the category. For each category in post dot category dot all, get me the category dot name, and it's also in a span. And then finally the body, which is in paragraph tag post dot body, and then this dot dot, which says that the content continue. I'm going to use CSS to like shorten the post so that if you check my web, you observe that not all the text were displayed here. Or CSS helped me to like reduce it, though I'm supposed to like get everything in the HTML, but the CSS will help me reduce it. So we are going to see how that happened, and then the read more, which I also added inside the anchor tag, and then it's going to take me to a single page which is related to the particular post that I'm under using this post ID. So after my index.html, the next thing I worked on was the single, which is similar with what I did for the index.html. I added tags to as well. This tag is single post. It has an ID tag because it's only one. I'll be using it. I will not use it. I will not reuse the post anywhere. That's why it's an ID and not class. I think I will do a video on CSS and HTML so that most of all the things I use here, you will understand. If you really want me to do that, you can let me know. And again, I have a class for my heading too. Just be the heading I used in my index.html. Then break, then another class for my blog container, which contain everything in the blog. And then the next one is the single blog boss, which is for the boss. And then the image, and after the image, the blog text, and that's all for the single, except for the comment section. But before the comment section, you observe I added also a text or post, which is going to display all the post for me. It's going to take me back to my index page using this URL. And then under you can see our comments. I also include them in the comment class, and then in the comment div as well. So it has a heading H3 comments, and the form action, we did this in our last class, how to work with form. And again, you see that I formatted my form to have this .axp, which will help me to like list them in form of a paragraph, just like the way you can see it now. Let me go to a single post. Earlier before now, you see that it wasn't really like this. Everything was joined together with this summit and the rest, but with the aid of the axp, it was a little bit neater. So you can do the same for yours. And then after that, I went to my comments and I needed to like put them in the formatted form. So I said if comment is in comments, let's say for comments, sorry, what I said is if comments and names, that is if we have comments and name, then display this comments by name.upper, which is to change if the person types his name in lowercase, it's going to change it to uppercase for me. And then if there's no comments and if there's no name, then it should return no comments. And that is the end of the if. And finally the big fish, which is this house. I wrote a lot of style, which was why I was unable to even code them step by step alongside with you, because it's going to take a lot of time and I wanted this to be the last video in this series, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So our default page, we set the margin to 0, the padding 0. The margin, as you all know, is the space outside and the padding is the space inside. Then the border, the box sizing is border box. Then for our anchor tag, the text decoration was none. Then for our body, the margin 2 is 0 pixel, the padding is 0 pixel, the background is this color, which you can change to any suitable color that you want. Then the block heading, I formatted it to have the font family impact, and then the font should be 2.4 rem. I prefer using the rem because it takes the device font size and fits it. Then the padding here is 20 pixel for my block heading, and then the text alignment should be in center. And then for my block span, which is for my block heading span, which is what I told you earlier, I added a span just like help me style them. I changed the color to just this color. And then for block container, I have display as flex, and then for the container, which is the boss, I have display. Sorry, for the container, which is for all the which contains all the content, I have display as flex, and then alignment content is center, and then the flex wrap is wrap so that it will wrap the content around. And then for my blog boss, I have the width is 600 pixel, and then the background color is this, and then the border is 1 pixel solid black, which will be to like add a border to them, and then the margin is 20 pixel. Then this art media is to help me to like make my site responsive, just like you can see here. If I let me go back to all my posts, if I right click and then inspect, then you can see that this site is very responsive. I can go to each of the posts and you can see that it still maintain the size and the width, still everything is still visible. So this is possible because of the art media which I added. So this art media, let's say when the width is 1250 pixel, then the width should be set for the blog boss, the width should be set to 65%, and when the width of the screen is 500, as when it has been compressed a little bit to 500 pixel, then the blog boss, the width should be set to 80% so that it will fit and has a balance and for a better look. Then for my single blog box, that's for the single, I set the width 100% because there's nothing like a recent post in the single. That's why I made it like that. And the color is this color. The border is 1 pixel solid white. The margin is 5% for the top and down, and then 10% for the left and right. And then the alignment content is center. The content is going to be in center. Then the blog image, the width is 100%, and the height I set it to auto. And then the blog image and the image tag specifically, the width is set to 100%, the height is set to 100%, and the object fit is cover. And then the blog position, I set it to center. Then for all, that is all posts which I added in my single to like take me to all of my posts that I have, I set the margin left to 20 pixels so that it will shift a little bit from the side of the boss. I think I'm still in my single. So you can see this is the margin. I made it to like shift to the side. I set it to like 20 pixels. And then the color, I changed it to like black. And I also added a hover so that when you bring your mouse at the top, the color is going to change to red, just like as you can see. Once my mouse is on it, it's going to change to red even before I click it. This shows that my mouse is on top of it. And then I continued again from there to my blog test. I set the padding to 30 pixel. I set the display to flex and then the flex direction to column, so that while I'm resizing it, the text will be rounding by themselves. The text will not just cut out, but it will be adjusting itself to the size of the screen. And then for the blog text span, which is the one that contains my auto and posted on, I set the color to this aqua, and then the font size is 0.9 rem. And then for my blog text P, that is the main text, I set the color to Alice Blue, the font size to 0.9 rem, the display to be WorkKit boss, and then the WebKit line. All this part I did was just to like I told you, to resize the size of my font. Let me show you all the posts, like make them be in this form, not display all the text, and make them unique like this. So that is what all these WebKit line clamp was for, and the WebKit boss orient vertical and overflow hidden was for. If you observe in my single blog test, I didn't add all this because I needed not to shorten it. I needed not to shorten the text there. And then you can see this is my single blog test. I didn't add all the WebKit because everything is going to display and I needed not to format it much. So because I had to do that for my index page, that's why I added it. And then for the dot comment, which is for my comment section, I set the margin for it to be 20 pixel and the padding to be 20 pixel. And then for the H3 tag, I set the color to be this color. And then for my blog dot text, which is the anchor tag too, I set the color to be black. And then when you hover over the text, you're going to get red, and the transition is 0.3 seconds. What this does is it will not just change immediately, but it will change gradually. So let me go back. Can you see the change happens just like gradually? It's not something that will just change at once. So that's what you can increase it to like see how it works, play around with the styles too, because that's what I did most of the time. So I have what I have now. So that's how we learn. And then another display for the blog container, the display is flex, and the flex wrap is wrap so that I told you that it will help me to like wrap the content around. Then the padding is 20 pixel, and then the recent post, this blog container I think is a container that contain all the posts, both my post and the container. And then for my recent post, I have the width to be 250 pixel. That's the width of the box where I'm putting it in. The height to be 200 pixel, and then the background color to be set to this color. The padding should be 20 pixel. The margin to be 15 pixel, and then the color should be white and uh, the color of the text. I think the color should be white. Yes, that's what we did. And then the font size should be 1 em. I think it's 1 rem, not em. I also made a mistake there. So the position should be fixed, and then the margin left should be 700 pixel. And then for the recent post, the anchor tag, I changed the color to white, and then the padding, I changed it to 10 pixel. And then for the recent post, the ones in paragraph tag, I changed them to, I aligned the text to center, which is the head in the recent post itself. And then for the recent post, the ones in the anchor tag, I added an over it, so that once you over it, you will get a red color. Let me just show you what I'm trying to say here. So this is what I'm trying to say. The color, I changed them to white, and when you like move your mouse over it, you're getting red. And then this is the one in the paragraph tag. This one is the on other list that I created, and this is the 20% padding that I did for the URL or the anchor tag inside each of them is taken into a single post. So I believe you would learn a lot from this, and thank you for starting this series with me and ending this series with me. It's really a great thing for me if you finish this tutorial series. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It will really help me to grow. Thank you. I love you all.